Many rural areas of the Philippines are poor. What a typical family earns is often not enough to achieve a good quality of life. The population is rising. Natural environments are heavily exploited. Resources from forest to sea are dwindling. The changing climate, which increases the occurrence of floods and typhoons, destroy important infrastructure. These factors put vulnerable communities at risk of losing the assets needed to produce and to market their crops, and thus threatening their food security. Most rural households rely on agriculture. What to produce and how much can be produced rely on both physical and social infrastructure. Physical infrastructure includes irrigation systems and farm-to-market roads, but these are often ineffective and badly maintained. Moreover, crops require fertilizers which are costly. Neither are these plants shielded by any form of crop insurance when disaster strikes. For rural communities, these are obstacles that lead to a more difficult life. Although Leyte is a rice-producing island, the poverty incidence in many areas is very high. Some local government units encounter up to 70% poverty incidence.
Kasagaran ko diri ang mga tao naglisod. Unja ang wa gumilain pangita diri .
In the town of Babatngon, farmers' productivity is affected by the declining quantity and quality of water from the watershed whose forest cover has been reduced by illegal logging.
Sa primero nga bahin, nagutod na rin kahoy, may tungod. Makuri ang kabutangan han mga tao han mulupyo din sa Babatngon labi na adton mag-urumang diri permanente may ada uma. So naiinggan nyo hirahin pag utod ng kahoy makapalit man lahing bugas base ibuhi iton ira pamilya. Han bata pa ako makusog ang tubig dinhi kay marabong ang kakahuyan. Pero hadayuday nga panahon inmabot ang pangahoy han mga tawo, nangangahoy hira. Nakita ko liwat nga ang tubig nagtikaguti nga naging mahugaw pagod.
Water from the forests is needed by agricultural areas in the lowlands. If this is put at risk, the effects are felt. Conflicts over water from the irrigation system in rural barangays are common. For example, in Barangay San Pedro in Albuera Town in Leyte Province.
Our farmers, these beneficiaries, have been engaged in trouble, especially for the use of water for their farms. And there were even instances wherein they quarreled and these people went to the sanggunian to resolve the problem on water usage.
Daghan pag mga tao nga nagreklamo bahin sa tubig.
Aside from water, another important input to farms is fertilizers, which most farmers cannot afford. Not using fertilizer can lead to poorer harvests and less income. Most farmers are not aware of cheaper alternatives to regular fertilizers. Knowledge on organic fertilizer and its benefits remain limited.
Unya na atong experience nga kining ang atong humay no kanang dili kayo siya maigo og sakit bisan nga drought pwede siya makaresist sa drought o na-maintain mo karon among production.
If productivity of farms is challenged by lack of water and expensive inputs, another challenge is finding ways for the harvests to be transported to the market. Roads from the farm to the market in rural areas are underdeveloped. They are often more of a hindrance than a path to help a farmer gain more income. Mayor Luquinte recognizes that such roads need to be improved.
Kaniadto dili ni maagi siya og sakyanan nga four wheels or tricycle or motorsiklo tungod kay dili ni sa lisod kayong agian kun dili ang kalabaw lang. Kung magdala ka og usa ka sako nga kopra padong sa ubos mo gastos ka og more or less mga 80 pesos.
Income is important to rural households to meet their basic needs. Less productive lands and poor infrastructure alongside degraded environments are the major challenges these and many other farmers around the country face today. Support is needed from the government to enable them to become active participants in securing a better future. What can be done? To address these challenges, the Department of Agriculture, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and GIZ, with financial support from the European Union, have collaborated to implement the Cash for Work scheme of the Enhancement of Food Security in the Visayas, also known as EFOS, in Leyte Island. 28 municipalities are benefiting from the project. The benefits brought about are changing lives. Poor and unskilled rural households have been provided cash incomes. They work and are paid cash for restoring natural habitats such as critical watersheds, mangroves, and marine protected areas, as well as rehabilitating essential infrastructure for their community. The workers are the local communities, farmers, and fisher folks.
Ang makita nila sa kada adlaw nga trabaho is 200 pesos. Mao na siya ang standard dire nga baya, dili gud ni maoy ilang standard nga or mo ni ilang regular nga trabaho. Ang na-benefit nila ani is nakamao sila og laing skills aside from farming nga magamit unya nila sa gawa sa pag-farm.
This scheme requires that at least 20% of the laborers are women.
Malaki ang kaibahan sa yung wala kaming sweldo, tapos meron ta.
The amount of the daily wage paid under Cash for Work, falling between 150 and 200 pesos, may be little, but it goes a long way for those living in the rural areas.
With EFOS project, each beneficiary will receive 200 pesos as an income per day. Ginagamit nila for food, for medicines, for daily basic needs, and they are paid on a weekly basis. Usually we pay them every Saturday at the end of the week.
Across 8 coastal municipalities in the province of Southern Leyte, Cash for Work was used to restore mangrove areas, which are nursery grounds for fishes and other marine life. In the uplands of Babatngon, the members of the Six People's Organization have community-based forest management agreements, have earned income by planting trees and constructing foot trails within their forest.
Dakong hinduro kaupay nga benepisyo ang makukuha han PO members hini nga project tungod una din ni ang benepisyo han maupay nga environment naton bagan nahimutang adto ecological balance nga pagtadong ini nga aton project. So usa pa din ni ang kakahuyan makakahatag ini hin mapriskong hangin ngan ang aton mga prutas nga gitatanom, ang mga bunga hini makakatagamtam kita, ang mga bunga hini nga pwede naton maging usa nga source of livelihood para naton members.
With increased forest cover, water supply for the lowlands will improve. Water conflicts in the town of Albuera for their irrigated rice fields have also been resolved. An existing irrigation canal has been rehabilitated and a new one has been constructed. 80 hectares of rice farms in Barangay Kalingatnan, Sitio San Pedro are now supplied with sufficient water.
Ang problema nato sa supply sa tubig, nasulbad na unya ang mga mag-uuma nga nag-awayan niadto, wala na magkaaway.
Steady running water for their fields means bigger yields. Now they can harvest up to 3 times a year.
Pwede namin mo anig katulo. Sure, may dako kay ang humay na kinalag tubig, di naman may kayuhaw sa tubig, makapasod naman may among gusto.
With Cash for Work, it is much cheaper to construct or rehabilitate communal irrigation systems.
Dako kay diferensya ang project sa Cash for Work o ang project implemented gikan sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Amo nakita dinhi nga ang sa Cash for Work project makasave ta og almost 50% sa cost. Sa DPWH, ang standard nila is 5,000 pesos per lineal meter. While ang cash for work project, mu-cost lang siya o if it's rehabilitation or repair, mu-cost lang siya og 2,500 pesos. While sa construction is 1,600 pesos.
In the town of Anahawan, the carabaos are no longer needed to transport the farmers' goods. The established 6 kilometers long farm-to-market road has brought many benefits.
Almost 600 or more household participants on this road projects. They are the one who work for this. They are the one making the road down from the municipal road to the upper barangay.
Travel time has been reduced, which has led to both savings in time and increased earnings for the farmers' pockets.
The transport cost is much less, 80% of their cost of transport expenses. They are only riding what we call habal-habal or the motorcycle.
Malaki po ang kaibahan ng wala kaming trabaho. Tapos malaki din ang aming ang sweldo namin tag 200. Marami din kaming nagamit kasi pambili ng pagkain namin, pangbili ng kahit anong gamit.
Aside from earning cash, the people have gained new skills.
Ang nahibaw-an nila nga mga skilled mao ang pag-mason, files bato as reprapel o isip karpintero. Ang ilang nahibaw-an, ilang ma-apply sunod nga proyekto.
Ang kasagaran nagtrabaho ni ini is ang mga babae nga nagdala ni ini nga dinhi aron makuha ang kanal.
In aiding to address the problem of costly inputs, the academe came up with a solution. The funding to establish a composting facility was made possible by EFOS.
Kining atong project dire karon gitawag nato ni og large scale composting nato magamit into organic fertilizer. Although nanatay organic farm gay kaduha ikatulo ka tuig ning saka na siyang atong abot. So hopefully kaning atong project dinhi makatabang ni pag-promote sa organic fertilizer diri sa mga surrounding barangay o diri sa baybay, hopefully sa whole Region 8.
The mayor has learned that providing the means to good harvest is one aspect. Getting them out to the market is the next step. Cash for Work does not use the traditional methods to construct roads, wherein most of the money invested goes towards the use of heavy equipment or external contracting.
This farm-to-market road cost merely of millions of pesos, which 80% of this is on the labor force and 20% is the costing of materials. Ang usa sa mga ingredients nini or mga materials mo ni ang natural gem sa Anahawan, ang bato, no? Nga maoy nakadagdag nga ning minus ang atong gastos nini tungod kay diha ra nato kuha sa atong mga creeks. There is a great participation. Our department heads, our heads of offices, and the legislative department, and of course, the participation of the people. Kung hindi sa kanila, hindi mabigyan nila yung mind nila na kaya pa nila gumawa kahit mga babae.
To support these Cash for Work projects, the DA is providing assistance in planning for the structures as well as providing seeds for vegetable farming, greenhouses, and solar dryers. Cash for Work provides direct income and supports the means for future productivity and availability, benefiting farmers and communities like yours.